now. So blood transfusion in cattle and dog. So it's a very, very important technique to save the life of the animals. And there are so many reasons of blood loss in animal, which we had already discussed in the previous class. Therefore, I am taking this class just after the class of anemia, because that was the etiology, and which we have discussed. We had already discussed about the different etiology of anemia. For a few seconds, I just revised. There are two different types of anemia: regenerative and non-regenerative anemia. And in regenerative anemia, the blood loss was the main cause, and then there was antigen antibody reactions was there. So many infectious agents, many toxic agents are there that are responsible for creating blood loss in animals. So coming to that, the biggest part of that, if the animal is really suffering from anemia, and if you are not supplementing the blood, then it is very, very difficult to save the life of the animals. So as Dr. Pinky has asked, what is this blood and the beast? Actually, a beast term is related with some ghost and something other else. So it was the paper cutting from the Times of India around 13 years back, when I did the first transfusion in Bihar Veterinary College. So this was captured by the Times of India, and it was the news in whole Patna that we have saved the life of the animal. Therefore, to remember that incidents, the first transfusion we did in the Bihar Veterinary College, I just put it on the first slide so that all of you can be very much encouraged to see that this is not a new technique, but just we are just doing this blood transfusion regularly in our college, last from 13 years in here. And my first transfusion I will show in the last slide. It was 18 years back, when just like you, I was doing PG in the Ranchi Veterinary College, and I have paper clipping from that also, and the last of the slide. So coming to the first slide. Now, as we know, the blood is a constituent tissue consisting of a fluid medium and suspended cellular constituents. Means if any animal or any human being, if you see, the blood is really a fluid in nature that not only contain the RBC, the WBC, as well as so many components that are necessary for the life of the animal. For example, the albumin, and we were talking about the coagulopathies etiology that was responsible for the coagulation of the blood if there is any hemorrhagic disorder is there. So all these components are present in the blood. And the other function are that the most important function of blood is to carry the oxygen, as well as the nutrients, the enzyme, the hormones, and water and electrolytes. So these are all the function of the blood which we already know. But just to revise these things, why this blood transfusion is so necessary, because until and unless you provide these nutrients, these cells to the body is not going to recover. So it provides a buffering system to the living tissue, means it provides all the constituent that is necessary for the survival of the organism. So it is a type of liquid media that not only provide the electrolytes and waters, beside that, it acts as a medium to carry oxygen from one place to another, where directly from the lungs, captured in the hemoglobin, and then it goes to the different tissue where the oxygen is really required. And at the same time, it carries the toxic substance to the kidney, where the filtration and all the process are occurring. So it runs the metabolic waste product. So the most important part, on the one, it carries the important things and provide the essential nutrients to the cell, oxygen to the cell, and at the same time, it removes the toxic substance, where the toxic substance are produced and they are excreted out from the body. So coming to the main topic, these are some of the questions that are asked frequently, whether the animal have blood group or not, and what are the different blood group that is recognized in the different animals. So this is just a chart. I have brought it from a standard book, where it is written that you are seeing on your slide that different animals have a different blood group system. Just like in human being, where there is ABO blood group system, here in the animals group also. For example, the bovine, they have a 2F blood group system, in which the clinical importance are the B and J. Similarly, in canines have red blood system, in which the most important for clinical point of view is DEA 1.1, 1.2, and 7. So these are the clinical important blood group. Generally, the antigens are available for them, and they help in the antigen antibody or matching and the cross matching, that is the blood grouping test. In equine, similarly, there are 8 blood groups in which the A, C, Q are the important blood groups. So all these blood groups are generally, they are asking the question whether how many blood groups are present in canine, in equines. Similarly, in felines, it is ABO's AB system, in which the AB system is important for clinical interest. And in a wine, that is in C, there are 7 blood groups in which the BR system is important. So these clinical interests, these are the important blood groups that are important for clinical, but large number of blood groups, as we have seen, in present in different groups of the animals. So coming to the indication, why we think for blood transfusion? What are the conditions? Only anemia?
सर ब्लड ग्रुप का टाइप सब जब इतना है सर, तो क्लिनिकल इम्पोर्टेंस वाला कम ही क्यों रहता है सर? 12 है तो 2 है, तो ये कैसे सर? सब में तो एंटीजन के आधार पर ही तो
अभी तक जितने भी, जैसे 12 ग्रुप किसी में है, किसी में 8 है, किसी में फिर 8, 3, 7 है, सभी का अभी एंटीजन डिस्कवर बना ही नहीं है। जैसे कि जिस तरह से ह्यूमन का एबीओ ब्लड ग्रुप सिस्टम का बना हुआ है, सो क्लिनिकली इंपॉर्टेंस यही है जो कि ज्यादा रिएक्शन शो करता है। तो बहुत सारे कंट्री में, अभी तो हमारे कंट्री में ये भी नहीं अवेलेबल है, हम लोग को बाहर से लेना पड़ता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, हम एक कैनाइन का उदाहरण लेते हैं जिसमें कि 8 रिकॉग्नाइज्ड ब्लड ग्रुप सिस्टम है, लेकिन इसमें जो सबसे ज्यादा रिएक्टिव, जो पॉपुलेशन में सबसे ज्यादा हो, जिसकी प्रोपोर्शनेट दूसरे ब्लड ग्रुप की तुलना में, जैसे हम लोग जानते हैं ना कि इंडिया में है तो कौन सा ब्लड ग्रुप ह्यूमन में सबसे ज्यादा पाया जाता हो, ऐसा बताए जैसे कोई होगा ना किसी का परसेंटेज बी ग्रुप, हाँ बी ब्लड ग्रुप या पॉजिटिव को सबसे ज्यादा है। उसी सेम कॉन्सेप्ट पे है कि जिसका प्रोपोर्शनेट ज्यादा है, जो ज्यादा संख्या में मिलता है, उसको हम क्लिनिकल इंटरेस्ट के रूप में लाएं, ताकि हम उसको मैच करके देख लिया जाए। ऑल्दो इट इज नॉट वेरी easy or not easily available in almost all the country. Now, few countries have only this types of antigen antibody test. So these are only where the percentage is more. So if the percentage is more, we go for that test only. यही कारण है कि हमने यहाँ पे एक ग्रुप बताया जिसमें इतने ब्लड ग्रुप हैं, और एक ग्रुप मैंने बताया जिसमें कि ये क्लिनिकल इंपॉर्टेंस का ब्लड ग्रुप्स है। So we were discussing about the indications. So when we think of a blood group, we think only of anemia. So this is not true. Although 80 to 90% cases in anemia, we go for blood transfusion, but there are other conditions also. So that condition has to be taken in mind. Apart from anemia, for example, we were discussing about the hemolysis or hemorrhage in the previous class. So trauma is one of the conditions. If the animal is suffering from any injury, so there may be a chance of internal or external hemorrhage. So trauma is one of the condition. And the most important condition, which we have already discussed, is the coagulopathy. Means that there is deficiency of certain factor, like factor 8 we were discussing in one, that is a von Willebrand factor in certain breeds of the animals. So coagulopathy is also very, very important. And in recent time, we are more concentrating on the platelet. So lots of work, lots of good research is coming on this platelet disorder. So platelet disorder, we find either there is a thrombocytopenia due to less production from the bone marrow cells, or it may be due to destruction by some of the etiological agent like Escherichia canis, or in case of hematopoietic disease. In such condition, the platelet, there is a loss of platelets because of the loss of the platelet, the hemorrhage is occurring from any natural orifice of the animal body. For example, there may be bleeding from the nose, that is epistaxis. There may be loss of blood from the urinary system. There may be loss of blood from the GI tract. In the previous class, we were discussing about that if the animal is suffering from bleeding disorder, you have to go for estimation of so many factors, like the clotting factor defect, like the extrinsic factor, like the calcium estimation, like the potassium, like the calcium and vitamin K estimation. So this platelet disorder is also very, very important. And these days we are concentrating more on, because of the so many hemophysical disease and the rickettsial disease, we are concentrating on platelet disorder. And in our clinic also, we are doing a very good therapy. The clinician and the surgeons are knowing, the Dr. Gyamdev is doing a very good research work on PRP. So PRP is
Plasma rich protein.
plasma rich platelets. And आजकल
Oh, platelets. Yes, sir.
और
Yes.
आजकल ये जो डिजास्टर है, उसमें भी आप लोग प्लाज्मा थेरेपी के बारे में सुन रहे हैं कि इस पे कुछ काम चल रहा है और एक पॉजिटिव रिस्पांस आने का चांस है. So we are concentrating on this also, because that plasma will certainly contain the platelet as well as other factor that will help in fighting any type of infection. So other condition is that epistaxis we have already discussed, the bleeding from the nose. And I'm thankful that one of my student Arun was suffering, but it was not the cause of all we are discussing here. The other cause maybe they are like the Arun, जैसे ब्लड प्रेशर के अरुण का कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ था, या कुछ अदर कारण हो सकते हैं एपीएसएसिस. कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि ये जो ब्लीडिंग आया है वो इसी प्लेटलेट के कारण ही आया होगा, बहुत सारे अदर फैक्टर हो सकते हैं, तो उसके कारण भी एक. बट सर्टेनली इफ द एनिमल बीइंग, if the animal is suffering from epistaxis, you just go for estimation of biochemical estimation. For example, liver disorder, it may be some of the plasma platelet disorder. So वहाँ पे हम उसके estimation पे जानते हैं. इसके बाद एक बहुत ही important बात आया है, यहाँ पे हमने लिखा है splenic rupture. It is very, very difficult to diagnose a case of a splenic rupture. This is generally diagnosed in case of animals. When the animal come for that animal is bleeding and showing a particular hemorrhage on the body, and we go for ultrasonographic examination and we find the patches on the body में patch दिखाई पड़ते हैं. और when you go for ultrasonographic examination, then only we can see that the animal is suffering from a splenic disorder. So in that condition also the anemia may occurs. And the last one is the gastrointestinal hemorrhage. Last one also the gastrointestinal hemorrhage, lots of parasite we have discussed, some of the hookworm we have discussed, and in case of Haemonchus contortus, there are some of the parasitic infestation in which we are getting a gastrointestinal hemorrhage, as well as it may be due to bacteria also. For example, if the animal is suffering from abomasal ulcer, if the animal is suffering from severe gastric ulcer, so in that condition also there is a chance for production of gastrointestinal hemorrhage. And the clinical condition in all these disease will be melena, that is the passing of the dark tarry colored feces. So coming to coming for the real blood transfusion technique, when we will decide that we have to go for blood transfusion, there are different parameters of the blood, the whole hematology is there, there is CBC count, but there are few only parameters on which, on that basis, we will think that apart from the etiological treatment, that is the main treatment, we have to give the support to the animal by selecting if the animal is suffering less than 7 gram per deciliter hemoglobin. So this is one of the criteria, and we know that hemoglobin and PCB has a relationship. If the animal is have a hemoglobin of 7, the PCB will be around 21, 3 times. So either you go for the estimation of packed cell volume, or you go for hemoglobin estimation, and if they are coming, if the hemoglobin is coming below 7 gram per deciliter, or if the PCB is less than 20%, in that condition we will think for blood transfusion animal. So these are the 2 important criteria on which we will select the animal for blood transfusion. So if the animal is showing these 2 very, very important findings, that is loss hemoglobin and the PCB 7 gram per deciliter and less than PCB, in that condition we select the animal for the blood transfusion. Now the other factor may be, because we know the protein, really the plasma protein, that the most important one is the albumin and globulin, in which Ag ratio is also very, very important. So if the animal total protein is low, or if the animal albumin is low, this is the rarest condition in which there are so many cows in the body, in which the animals loses the protein. So if the animal is suffering from protein losing enteropathy, or if it is suffering from the leakage of the protein in the urinary tract infections or in the kidney disorder, in that condition also, in certain critical condition, for supplementation of this protein also, we may go for blood transfusion. So this is the rare part. Generally, we go for blood transfusion for supplementing oxygen, for supplementing blood cells, generally the RBC cell. But there are other conditions also in which if the animal is suffering from severe hypoproteinemia, in that condition also, we may think for blood transfusion. So there are different criteria for selecting. As in human being, there should be a donor, there should be a recipient. In case of animal also, there should be a donor and there should be a recipient. So I just take an example of two animals. I will go for dog and cattle also. So there should be some criteria that we will not pick any animal for donor, and for donor also there should be a certain rules that especially in case of dog, the body weight is very, very important, because if we collect blood from a very low weight animal or a weak animal, it becomes fatal for that animal. So you see here, at least the body weight of the animal should be around 20-25 kg. The age of the animal is very, very important. It should not be juvenile or it should not be very, very old. So the age limit is up to 1 to 8 years of age. And also very important that animal should be healthy. So what is the criteria for healthy condition of the animal? Its hemoglobin level should be high. It should be normal. That is, if the hemoglobin is 12 to 13, its PCV will come around 40%. So either the hemoglobin, you just estimate the hemoglobin of the animal. If it is around 12 to 13 gram per deciliter, or you calculate the PCV. If it is around 40%, there is supposed to be a best donor. That animal is supposed to be one of the best donor. And other things which we do not keep in mind, that if we are going for a real blood transfusion, apart from all these physical parameters of the donor animal, the animal must be vaccinated, because we know most of the parasites and most of the disease are present in the blood. So if you are not collecting a blood, if you are not collecting a blood from a vaccinated animal, you may be infecting that animal with certain disease condition. So vaccination, prior vaccination of the dog, that is the donor dog, is very, very important. And the last one is also very important in our hot and humid climate. And you see, as the temperature rises, the tick infestation increases in the canine. So in that condition, there are most of the hematoprotozoal disease are transmitted by the bite of the ticks. And so that is a clinical condition. But suppose that if the animal is suffering from Babesia canis, or the animal is suffering from Ehrlichia canis, and you are collecting blood without seeing the blood smear examination, so you may be transmitting that disease in the diseased dog, that is the anemic dog. So this has to be, these are the very, very important criteria for selecting a donor animal.
सर स्मॉल ब्रीड में वेट क्राइटेरिया होगा कि नहीं सर?
बताओ
स्मॉल ब्रीड में सर,
स्मॉल ब्रीड फॉर एग्जांपल
जैसे सर पग वगैरह तो 25 किलो का होगा नहीं सर, तो उसमें वेट क्राइटेरिया रखे हैं कि नहीं सर?
मैं बात कर रहा था अभी डोनर का, हम बात कर रहे हैं, हम रेसिपिएंट का बात नहीं कर रहे हैं। रेसिपिएंट पग, किसी भी रेसिपिएंट कैन बी ऑफ एनी वेट, ठीक है ना। ब्लड लेने वाला जानवर कोई भी केजी का हो सकता है, वो 2 केजी का हो सकता है, पप्स हो सकता है। हम सेलेक्ट कर रहे हैं कि कितना अमाउंट ऑफ ब्लड। अभी हम आगे के स्लाइड में वी विल डिस्कस अबाउट द अमाउंट ऑफ ब्लड टू बी ट्रांसफ्यूज एंड टू बी टेकन फ्रॉम डोनर एनिमल. So I am talking of general condition, but suppose if you are just talking of a small animals, means say animal weighing around 10 kg of body weight. So if 1 unit, we are talking about 1 unit just in comparison to human being, that is 350, in which that blood bag will contain 49 ml of anticoagulant, and 300 ml blood, we call it as a 1 unit of blood. So if we draw 300 ml of blood from a pug, it will be difficult, because it is all it may leads to hypovolemic shock, ठीक है ना। तो वहां पे हम वेट ऑफ द एनिमल को ध्यान में देखेंगे, लेकिन ऐसा रूल नहीं है कि हम उससे नहीं ले सकते हैं। So if we require a less amount of blood, for example, certainly sometime 300 ml of blood will not be required. So if only there is a requirement of only 50 ml of blood, only 100 ml of blood, then in that condition, that pug can also be a donor. अंडरस्टैंड इज एन प्रॉब्लम, वहां पे वो भी डोनर हो सकता है कि हमको कितना ब्लड ड्रॉ करना है, लेकिन थियोरेटिकली वो डॉग हेल्दी होना चाहिए, उसका वजन ज्यादा होना चाहिए ताकि वो हाइपोवोलेमिक शॉक में न चला जाए। और जैसे कुछ ब्रीड की बात हम करते हैं तो बहुत सारे ऐसे मिनिएचर ब्रीड हैं जिसमें से ब्लड कलेक्शन बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा, स्पेशली द ब्रैकिसिफेलिक ब्रीड जिसके नेक बहुत छोटे होते हैं। तो हमको ये इसमें नहीं लिखा है, लेकिन अगर हम एक डोनर का सिलेक्शन करेंगे तो हम एक ऐसे एनिमल की बात करेंगे जो कि डोसाइल हो। ये सब क्राइटेरिया हमने यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा है, वो तो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्राइटेरिया हो गया। व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फॉर सिलेक्शन ऑफ अ डोनर एनिमल, the animal behavior is also very, very important because you are going to collect blood from the jugular vein. So the condition of the animal, the behavior of the animal, the anatomical condition will also become important. For example, if you are selecting a Doberman, if you are selecting, if you are selecting a brachycephalic breed, means that head size is big. So in that breed, the neck is very, very short. So in that condition, it is very difficult to raise the jugular vein. So do not go for a selection of such type of dog because it will create problem. It will be very, very difficult to locate the jugular vein in that animal. So go for certain breed that has a big neck, and that's weight is almost around 20-25 kg weight. But this is not a 100% rule. You can go for, if a small amount of blood is required, we can collect it from Pomeranian on the basis of body weight and the amount of blood to be collected from that animals. Now, similarly, coming for just like dog, we go for blood transfusion in cattle and horses too. So as the same phenomena will be adopted here also, the animals should be healthy and the donor cattle and horses should be in good condition, good body condition, because that cattle has a very, very large body size and the mass and the body weight is high, that is more than 300 kg. So here the problem that is occurring in the canine is little bit different. So in cattle also, but for collection also we have a rule. So how much blood you can collect from an animal. So we will come across in the next slide. And also the donor criteria, that is the different infectious disease. We have to take care of again here the different clinical condition. That is, the animal should be in good health condition. Its hemoglobin level should be around just 13 to 14 grams per deciliter. Should be free from hematoprotozoal disease, especially the anaplasmosis, the thalidomide, the babesiosis. Similarly, in case of equine also, equine infectious anemia, and in case of bovine leukosis complex. So they should be free from the disease. Otherwise, by doing blood transfusion, we can transmit disease to the recipient animals. So they never receive. And also the very, very important thing, they should not be received recently. There should not be any blood transfusion, because repeated blood transfusion may lead to reaction. We will come across the slide. Why sometimes it is said that the first transfusion is generally safe. So there should be a reason behind it. If you go for blood transfusion one after another in the same animal, that animal is more prone to suffer from anaphylactic reaction in comparison to the animal that receives blood for the first time. So there should no history of receiving blood-based vaccine also. So sometimes the animal has given a blood-based vaccine. For example, certain vaccines, it may have produced antibody against. We receive recently, there should not be any blood transfusion, because repeated blood transfusion may lead to reaction. We will come across the slide. Why sometimes it is said that the first transfusion is generally safe. So there should be a reason behind it. If you go for blood transfusion one after another in the same animal, that animal is more prone to suffer from anaphylactic reaction in comparison to the animal that receives blood for the first time. So there should no history of receiving blood-based vaccine also. So sometimes the animal has given a blood-based vaccine. For example, certain vaccines, it may have produced antibody against that blood. So in that case also, if you are going for blood transfusion, it may form antibody against that blood, and there is a chance of antigen-antibody reaction, and the animal may react. So cattle and horses. So coming to the next point is that how we will collect blood. So the first important, we have to restrain both large animal or restrain animal. If the animal is not cooperative, then we have to adopt sedation, or as we have, you might have seen Nikhil or Arun, you might have seen certain blood transfusion in case of a small animal. So sedation and
Yes, sir.
anesthesia is required. And the gauge, that is very, very important. You see the gauge that is varies from 16 gauge to 18 gauge. So that should be thick enough, because if we are taking a small size needle, sometimes the blood will coagulate in that, and that will be very, very difficult to collect blood, because if there is a delay in the collection of the blood, that the needle get coagulated, and it will, and there is no passing of the blood from that region, and there is a chance of formation of thrombi or emboli in that ratio. The blood needle size is also very important. And collection, the site of the collection, generally the collection is done from the jugular vein. Sometimes we, in case if we are not able to raise the jugular vein, or not able to reach to the jugular vein, especially in case of canine, then we sometimes we go for adoption from the cephalic and saphenous vein. That has become very, very difficult, because the pressure is not good in that region. So jugular vein is the site, really the site where we go for both region of the jugular, we can go for the collection of the blood. And generally initially a pressure is required in this region just to raise the jugular vein, so that it will be very, very easy to puncture that jugular vein. Now regarding the anticoagulant, generally the anticoagulant that is present in the blood bag is citrate phosphate dextrose adenine, CPDA, citrate phosphate dextrose adenine. And this is the one of the best anticoagulant used for blood transfusion, because in this anticoagulant, the blood not only remains for a long time, the lysis of the RBC not occur, and the half-life of the RBC, that is the life of the RBC, generally remain vibrant for 3 weeks. Generally, we can store blood in this type of anticoagulant. Besides that, if we make our own anticoagulant, like we have done in our practical classes, like sodium citrate, if we use as an anticoagulant, this is only viable only for 4 hours. So we have to go for immediate blood transfusion. We will not be able to store blood if we make a 3.8% sodium citrate solution. So this is only useful for the open method of blood transfusion. So this is the best anticoagulant, citrate phosphate dextrose adenine, and this can be stored at 4 degrees centigrade for 3 weeks. So what the blood bank is doing, they collect the blood in this media, and they can store it for 3 weeks. So the blood remains viable for 3 weeks. So this is the problem with our, in our condition, we make our own anticoagulant. There is a problem in getting the blood bag. So in that condition, we have to make our own anticoagulant. But for that, we have to go for transfusion generally within 4 hours, because if we delay the blood transfusion, that cells will not be viable. So there is no benefit of the blood transfusion. So this is the very, very important point. That is the difference between open and closed method of blood transfusion. So collection and storage of blood should be done aseptically, and collect less than 25% of a donor's animal blood. So as in human being, as we have discussed in our theory class also, the percentage of body water. Any animal have a good percentage of body water. So you know that if the animal body is 100 kg, so generally collect in less than 25% of a dome. Just you go for calculation. What is the amount of blood, the general amount of blood present in that animal. So if we suspect if the animal has a 5 liters of blood, or 5.6 or 6 liters of blood, the maximum blood that you can draw from that donor is not more than 25%. So this is thus a thumb rule. Or there is another rule, is that 10 to 15 ml blood per kg body weight can be drawn off at a time without any damage. So you can adopt either two method. Either you go for 25%, maximum 25% collection of the blood, or you go for at this dose rate, that is 10 to 15 ml blood per kg of body weight. So if an animal is weighing 20 kg, the maximum blood that can be drawn from that animal is around 200 ml or 250 ml. So this is the thumb rule. Beyond that, if you are collecting a blood, you are putting the animal in a danger position. So these are some of the method I have shown in my slide. You see the jugular vein, where this needle is inserted. So this is the site for the collection, especially in case of canine. These are the some of the blood transfusion we did 13 to 14 years back when our department was where today veterinary public health is running. So in that lab, we have started the blood transfusion. So these are certainly the picture is of not good quality, and you see this is all the method of collecting the blood, how we collect from the jugular vein in different animals, as well as in you see the method in collecting. You see the prominent jugular vein. So this is Manoj Kumar, Dr. Manoj Trivedi. He was one of the PG student who did the first PG, who did the PG on blood transfusion. So this is the method of, he has done, he had already done 5 to 6 transfusion consequently in a cattle. He has checked of a heterologous blood transfusion. So he has done a wonderful work. His thesis is available in our department. So he has done a blood transfusion. So after blood transfusion, you see that there are different method of blood transfusion. But before seeing this, we will come across the most important thing, that is the matching test. What we were discussing of the different blood groups, that is very, very difficult to get the antigen in our country. So in absence of that, we adopt a very, very important technique of cross-matching techniques. So this is just based, so you see here the RBC surface as antigen, which may react with antibodies in plasma of the animals. So in that condition, to counteract this, because blood transfusion is not a safe technique, so RBC lysis can occur or agglutination of RBC occur. So naturally occurring antibodies are rare in animals. So this third point is very, very important. Why sometimes if there is some emergency condition is there, and if the emergency dog is brought or if the animal is brought and you see that his hemoglobin is 2 to 3 and it will take 1 and 2 hours for go for major and minor test, in that condition, by taking the permission of the owner, this is a very, very important point, because the owner will say, you go for blood transfusion, I am allowing, but never go do that. You just take a permission, written permission from the owner, that I am giving the permission for blood transfusion. You take a risk note and then go for blood transfusion, because knowing that the first transfusion is generally safe, because generally in animals, the antibodies are rare in animals as in comparison to human beings. Therefore, we can take risk in animal going for the first transfusion. Otherwise, in a maximum majority of the cases, you have to adopt a major and minor test. So these are the 2 important techniques done in absence of blood groups matching. So these are the 2 very, very important tools, that is major and minor test. So this is the method of major and minor test. You just collect the blood. This is written 2 ml of blood, both donor and recipient. You centrifuge it. Then you have to wash 3 times in normal saline solution. Coming to this important, that is major and minor test, in which we go for, before doing blood transfusion, in general condition, we have to adopt this technique, because the owner will say that you go for blood transfusion. But at the same time, when the animal will not survive, he will complain that you have not adopted the process. So adoption of proper process is very, very important, because sometimes the doctor in haste or in pressure from the owner, he go for blood transfusion knowing that the first transfusion is safe. For that reason, I have suffered one case after adopting this process. The owner was after me that you did a wrong thing. So this is the very, very important thing that should be kept in mind, because if you are going for blood transfusion for the first time, you just take a risk note, or in 80 to 90% cases, just go for matching test. Both major or minor test is not very, very important. In major and minor test also, you go for minor test, but it is generally advocated in the case where, it is generally advocated in cases where ISO antibodies, or if there is any vaccines record is there, or if there is a previous blood transfusion is there. So generally major test is very, very important. In with the few drops of RBCs that mixed with the plasma of the, you see the major cross consists of combined equal volume of 2 drops of donor RBC suspension and recipient plasma mixed in equal quantity. So this is the most important, and just reverse of this is the minor cross, where minor cross matches consist of combining equal volume of 2 drops of donor plasma and recipient red blood cells. So just reverse condition is minor test, and the major test is the most important, and where you mix 2 drops of donor RBC with the same volume of plasma of the recipient. So these two are mixed in a centrifuge tube. That centrifuge tube is generally, after doing this, you go for you go for incubation for half an hour. So this is the process that will take a half an hour time. You incubate that test tube, then centrifuge it. The centrifugation is very, very important at 500 RPM for 15 seconds and 1000 RPM and for 2 minutes, and then examine that supernatant. If it is homogeneous mixture, then you can go for blood transfusion. If there is a coagulation on the side, I will show the picture just after this slide. If there is a formation of coagulation, it means that is not compatible for blood transfusion. So in that case, you have to reject the donor. You have to select some other donor. So this is the very, very important criteria for going for blood transfusion. So you see here, this is the test tube, and that we have taken the cells of the donor as well as the plasma of the recipient. Then we have gone for, this is the real process, we have gone for incubation for half an hour. Then we have centrifuged it to 1000 RPM. And then after that, you see some of the floccules on the side of this glass weights. You see, it's visible to you, all of you? दिखाई पड़ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
में यहाँ पे देखिए, अगर ये नहीं बनता है, अगर ये पूरा क्लियर फ्लूइड रहता है, जिस तरह के हम बोलते हैं कि hemoglobinuria like condition, you just in with the hemoglobin is mixed in the system. But if there is a coagulation, जैसे दही फटा हुआ रहता है, उस तरह का उसके स्लाइड पे, उसके टेस्ट ट्यूब पे चारों तरफ लगा है, this is incompatible. You cannot go for blood transfusion with such animal. In that condition, you have to reject that donor and search for another donor. Again, you have to adopt a test also. So coming to the most important part, and that is the biggest question in our mind, and how much blood is required in any animal. So generally we go for arbitrary. Sometimes we go 300 ml blood, and sometimes especially in large animals. Small animal is not very much problematic, but in large animal generally we do transfusion that is of very, very low in quantity. So for that we have to calculate, we have to take care of the body weight of the animal. Suppose arbitrary, suppose if a cattle is 300 kg body weight, there is a factor, and you know the normal PCV of any animal, that is, and you know the PCV of that animal, that the sick animal, if the PCV of that sick animal is suppose 20%, and if the normal PCV is 40%, just minus is and multiply by a factor and body weight, and then divide by the normal PCV, you will be getting the amount of fluid. That is very, very important. I have selected 3 animals in which you can calculate the dose. There may be other animal in which there are other formula are there. So you can also search in other animals. But the most important animal that we are going for blood transfusion are the cattle, the horses, and the canine, and other different formulas are there. So this is the formula for going for blood transfusion in cattle, and this is the formula for going for in cat feline family. So this is the body weight and the desired increase. So there is a little bit difference formula is there. So if the desired is desired increase, so if you want to increase the hemoglobin from 7 to 14, the desired level is 7. So you just put 7, and there is a factor 17, and you again divide it by donor hemoglobin. So this will give you the amount of fluid to be transfused in that cat. So this is again a very important formula for blood transfusion in cat. Although it's a very, very risky job in case of cat. We have already adopted one method, and we have tried in cat, I think 2 or 3 months back, and we were not able to recoup because it was very, very difficult to collect blood from the cat without sedating it. The cat is not cooperative as the dog, and if the animal is suffering from severe anemia and if the time is very, very less, in that condition we have adopted one method for because the blood bag was not available, and we have to collect a very small amount of blood, because any animal can donate blood, as we Arun has asked a very wonderful question. So what can be done if the animal is very small? So similar condition arises here. Suppose if you are going for blood transfusion in case of cat. So what is the weight of the cat? You see the weight of the cat is very, very low. So if you are selecting a blood transfusion in case of cat, you have to adopt a very, very unique formula. So this is the formula that is generally around, there is a thumb rule also that will come only 20 to 30 ml of blood is required in case of a cat. So you know, if a blood bag is there, so that blood bag contained 300 ml of blood. So that will be excess. There is no requirement of that much amount of blood to be transfused. So that is only a wastage. And also a very, very important thing, sometime by doing blood transfusion, we create toxicity in the animal. For example, the most important one is the citrate toxicity. Suppose if an animal required only 100 amount of blood and your blood bag contained 300 ml, and you have selected the animal and you collected 300 ml of blood, you collected only 100 ml of blood in that bag, and that anticoagulant is meant for 300 ml. So there will be a disproportionate. So due to disproportionate, the citrate will increase in quantity in that blood. And if you transfuse that blood in an animal, it will create citrate toxicity. It will create a very, very important, great problem, especially the hypocalcemia. So citrate toxicity has to be taken in mind. The anticoagulant and blood should be in proper ratio. So this should be kept in mind. I will give you a clue when I will come to the next slide. So this is the transfusion in case of a dog. If you are going for blood transfusion, this is the formula for adopting the blood transfusion amount of fluid required. So what we were talking, so of the very important thing, suppose if a dog is of low body weight, that is 5 and 6 kg only, and there is a requirement of only 70 ml of blood. So how you will go for calculation? Anyone? And Nikhil, Pinky, anyone? सिर्फ हमें एक डॉग को सिर्फ 70 ml खून चढ़ाना है और हमारे पास एक ब्लड बैग है जिसमें कि 300 ml हम ब्लड कलेक्ट करते हैं, तो क्या कोई चेंजेस लाना पड़ेगा? एनी चेंज रिक्वायर्ड बिफोर गोइंग फॉर ब्लड कलेक्शन? एनीवन? कोई को नहीं क्या?
एंटीकोगुलेंट को से रिमूव करना होगा।
एंटीकोगुलेंट
उसको निकाल देंगे तो
नहीं निकलेगा।
क्या नहीं निकलेगा?
निकल जाता है।
वो तो पैक्ड रहता है।
अभी पिंकी ने बोला कि एंटीकोगुलेंट नहीं निकलेगा, पैक जरूर सील रहता है, लेकिन ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन कलेक्शन के लिए तो आपको सील तो आगे से हटाना होगा ना, तो आप देखिए हटाना होगा, तो उस समय तो आपको वेन में डालने के लिए उसको सील तो तोड़ना ही है। उसके पहले एक छोटा सा प्रोसीजर अडॉप्ट करना होगा। आपको पता है कि वो जो ब्लड बैग है ह्यूमन का, वो 350 ml टोटल वॉल्यूम होते हैं, उसमें 50 ml एंटीकोगुलेंट होता है, और जब हम पूरा ब्लड कलेक्ट कर लेते हैं तो 350 ml का हो जाता है। तो अगर हम 350 को 50 से डिवाइड कर दें तो यू विल बी गेटिंग ए रेशियो। आपको एक रेशियो पता हो जाएगा कि 7 ml ब्लड पे 1 ml एंटीकोगुलेंट का रिक्वायर्ड है। तो अभी मैंने आपको बोला कि 70 ml हमको ब्लड लेना है, तो उसी हिसाब से उसको गुना कर दीजिए, उतना ही एंटीकोगुलेंट रिक्वायर्ड होगा। बाकी एंटीकोगुलेंट
निकाल देंगे सर
ग्रेजुएटेड पेपेट में, एकदम वंडरफुल, उतना आप ड्रेन कर दीजिए, तो इसके कारण आपको ज्यादा एंटी जो साइट्रेट होने का चांस रहेगा वो कम हो जाएगा। सो दिस इज द फॉर्मूला फॉर adopting blood transfusion, especially in case of canine. Now, what should be the rate? This is also again a very, very important thing, because blood transfusion is not a safe technique. This is a type of transplantation, a organ transplantation. There is always, despite being doing major and minor tests, there is always a chance of anaphylactic reaction or animal entering into the soft. So the rate is very, very important. So I have written here, this is 0.25 ml per kg per hour. Just you calculate, the thumb rule is there. That is the first 15 minutes you have to go for a very, very slow rate. Then you have to increase little bit. So this is the rate. If you go for increasing the rate of the blood transfusion, you are going to create certain reaction in that. So any adverse reaction, especially the anaphylactic reaction, can occur. So generally we go for whole blood, but is it required the whole blood transfusion? Suppose if the animal is requiring only RBC, can we go for RBC transfusion only? Anyone? अगर एक ब्लड है, एक ब्लड बैग है, अभी एक रिसेंट थेरेपी आजकल आ चुका है, हम लोग कंपोनेंट थेरेपी की बात करने लगे हैं। इफ द एनिमल
ये सर कर
रिक्वायर्ड,
सकते हैं।
क्या कैसे होगा, कैसे हो सकता है?
उसको सर हमारे जानते तो नहीं है सर, लेकिन थोड़ा सा बता
हाँ
रहे हैं सर। उसको
हाँ
सर
हाँ,
सेपरेट आरबीसी को सेपरेट करके और 0.9% ये नॉर्मल सेलाइन में ये करके डाल सकते हैं सर।
okay. Why normal saline only? Why not any other fluid media? Any reasoning?
अगर दूसरा रहेगा तो सर इसमें या तो श्रिंक कर जाएगा, नहीं तो ब्रस्ट करने का चांस रहेगा सर।
Okay, that's good. ठीक आंसर है, बहुत ही अच्छा आंसर है। Normal saline is a physiological saline solution in which the any cells will not rupture because this is isotonic with the blood. जो हमारे ब्लड का जो कंपोजिशन है उससे वो आइसोटेनिक मीडिया है, इसलिए उसमें रप्चर नहीं होगा, तो हम उसको डिसॉल्व करके क्रूड मेथड में हम दे सकते हैं। ठीक है, आज बात चल रहा है कंपोनेंट थेरेपी का। हम देखते हैं कि किसी को थ्रोम्बोसाइटोपेनिया है, किसी को प्लेटलेट की कमी है, किसी को एल्बुमिन की कमी है, किसी को कुछ दूसरे कंपोनेंट का रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो हम चाहेंगे कि इतने प्रीशियस चीज को, ये मेरा आगे का थिंकिंग है कि हम लोग भी ह्यूमन के तरह कंपोनेंट थेरेपी में इन करें। देयर इज अ रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ वन ब्लड सेपरेटर दैट कॉस्ट इज अराउंड 10 to 15 lakh. But in the near future, I will try to bring this machine in our clinical complex so that we can start a component therapy. If the only platelet is required, we will transfuse only platelet. If only plasma is required, we will transfuse only plasma. If the RBC is required, we will transfuse only RBC. So this will save not only the life of the animal, but it will save the precious component present in the blood. There is no requirement of other component, so we will not go for other transfusion. So you see here, if the oxygen carrying capacity is less, we go for RBC transfusion. If the replacement, if the volume is required, if the blood volume is required, then we will go for crystalloid or colloid solution as the hypertonic saline solution what we adopt. If there is a coagulation defect is there, we go for fresh frozen plasma. This is the, इसी की बात चल रही है आजकल, चर्चा चल रहा है कि प्लाज्मा थेरेपी के बारे में इतना आज पढ़ रहे हैं, इसलिए मैंने इस टॉपिक को आज लाया है कि फ्रेश फ्रोजन प्लाज्मा थेरेपी के बारे में बात चल रहा है, because it contains large number of proteinous substance that are useful for the body. And then if the animal is suffering from thrombocytopenia, we can go for only platelet transfusion. So this is the method of component therapy that is little bit different from the blood transfusion, but really it is a blood transfusion. So coming to the next slide, the rate of blood transfusion, but any blood transfusion is full of risk. We have already faced lots of problems during blood transfusion, during collection, during administrations, and that all these things has to be kept in mind. So these things are very, very important, like restlessness, sweating, hiccup is there, tachycardia and tachypnea. And one of my students might have observed, and when you people are going for blood transfusion, sometimes become very, very anxious. And sometimes it becomes worried also that something wrong is happening in this animal, sir, what can be done? So this thing has to be kept in mind. These are the certain clinical conditions that may occur during blood transfusion. So there may be a respiratory problem, there may be a tachycardia-like problem. In case of ruminant, the ruminant may suffer from tympani, there may be salivation. And in a small animal, there may be chance of vomition, just like any anaphylactic reaction. The horses are highly, highly susceptible. Although I have advocated blood transfusion in horse, but that animal is very, very highly specific animals for any antigen antibody reaction. So for doing blood transfusion, you just take care of the matching test, especially in horse. Do not go for blood transfusion without going for matching major and minor crossing, especially when you are going for blood transfusion in horses. So risk is much greater with transfusion, and reaction usually is evident within first few minutes. So if you are checking a blood transfusion reaction, it will not occur after 2, 3, 4 hours. It will just within a few minutes, it will show its reaction. So that timing is also very important. So wait, if you are going for blood transfusion, if the blood transfusion is over, then just ask the patient to remain there under your guidance so that you can see any type of anaphylactic reactions. So after that, so how you will take care of? So suppose if the reaction occurs and you see if you are going for blood transfusion in canine and reaction occur, you will very well easily appreciate. The animal will start pawing on the mouth region. अपने मुंह पे अपने पंजे से मारने लगता है. There is allergic reactions that become restless, started urinating, moving and vomiting. You will certainly see that its reaction has already occurred. So you may adopt for certain life-saving medicine. You should have at before doing transfusion. So suppose if you are doing transfusion and not keeping this medicine, that is very, very difficult to save the life of the animal. So epinephrine, you see, is a very, very important life-saving medicine. This is the dose rate 50 mg per 450. Yes, Nikhil.
सर ये पूछ रहे थे, सो कोई डॉग है
Yes. हाँ.
का हेमोग्लोबिन, तो उसको जो है, सो अगर हम ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन करना शुरू किए तो मान लीजिए 200 ml ब्लड उसको चढ़ गया, ट्रांसफ्यूजन हो गया, उसके बाद अगर उसमें सिम्टम आना शुरू हुआ तो क्या यह एंटीबॉडी और एंटीजन रिएक्शन हुआ कि यह नॉर्मल रिएक्शन है, क्या समझेंगे उस टाइम हम?
हाँ, ये ऐसा होता है कभी कभी. जनरली रिएक्शन कुछ ही देर के बाद आ जाता है. कभी कभी डिलेड रिएक्शंस भी आते हैं, जैसे कि ब्लड चढ़ गया और ब्लड जब तक एब्जॉर्ब सिस्टम में जाता है तब जाकर के रिएक्शन शो करता है. वो उसी तरह का रिएक्शन है, बहुत हाई रिएक्शन में नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि बहुत सारे प्रोटीन है और कौन सा प्रोटीन रिएक्ट किया है ये हम बता नहीं सकते हैं. तो वो उसी तरह का रिएक्शन है. अब सीवियरिटी ऑफ रिएक्शंस अलग हो सकता है. किसी में बहुत ज्यादा सीवियर हो सकता है, डिपेंड्स अपॉन द एनिमल. जो हाइपर सेंसिटिव होंगे उसमें ज्यादा होगा, जो लेस सेंसिटिव है उसमें देर से आ सकता है, लेकिन रिएक्शन वही है. उसमें एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी ही रिएक्शन होता है और इमीडिएटली यू हैव टू टेक दैट केयर बाय इम्यूनोमॉड्यूलेशन. बिकॉज अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा एंटीजन एंटीबॉडी रिएक्शन होने जाएंगे, वो हेमोग्लोबिन नेफ्रोसिस हो जाएगा, वो किडनी डैमेज कर सकता है. इसलिए आपको ये टेक केयर लेना होगा कि उस समय you have to keep different corticosteroid with you, or sometime as a prophylactic measure we go for we have adopted a measure that we go for one dose of corticosteroid before going for blood transfusion, so that will help in counteracting that reaction. So epinephrine and rapid acting corticosteroid is very, very useful, especially the prednisolone and the dexamethasones are important in these conditions. Now, what are the disadvantages? Only there is a only advantage of blood transfusion? No, there is a certainly, as the Nikhil asked, said after blood transfusion it was safe during the blood transfusion, but after some time started showing certain clinical condition. For example, immediately the acute hemolysis will not occur, so there is no control over it. So you are not going to control this. Generally, in few rare conditions, the hemolysis has started due to antigen antibody reactions on the RBC cells. So acute hemolysis, viral infection, and the rickettsial diseases like bacterial disease, and in equine infectious anemia is very, very important, and in rickettsial and bacterial disease are also very important. These are certain disadvantages of blood transfusion. So this is the last slide. Actually, I want to devote this slide to some of the colleagues. Therefore, I take the PPT picture of the paper cutting which I started the blood transfusion in the year 2002. You see, there are a few of these are the colleagues, and most of them are now on a very, very high post. He is my batchmate Raju Prasad. He is the head pharmacology in Ranchi Veterinary College. And you see the in blue shirts, he is one of the great clinician and parasitologist in your college. He is Dr. Ajit. So he was helping me in the starting the first time blood transfusion at the Ranchi Veterinary College. And this is me in a cap. So this was started in the, this story of blood transfusion is related with me, and it has given lots of fame and defame sometime also. So it was started in the year when I was doing my PhD at the Ranchi Veterinary College in the Department of Veterinary Medicine. Later on, when I shifted at the Bihar Veterinary College, Patna, I continued the work, and this work was really appreciated by the government, and it was taken care by the media also. So these are some of the clips that I brought for you, so that you get motivated by this type of small work. Although I don't want to bring this note to your notice, but just for your enthusiasm, that this is just a story of 18 years back when I did my first transfusion as a MBSc student. You people also can start any type of new innovation, and this can bring a glory to your name as well as to the university. So I thank again, and I request if you have any query and the questions. I think Dean PG sir was visible few minutes ago. Sir was looking at the class. So just I request anyone. So because this is just a actually it's a practical type of class, but it's a very, very important for tool for saving the life. And I suppose that after this you might have gone through many advantages, disadvantages, and precautions that we can take during the blood transfusion. So any questions from you? I am ready to answer it. Ayush?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hello?
Any query? Any questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you all of you for joining this class. We will meet in the next class. I will notify. I think the next class is of 6. Yes, anyone?
हेलो
Okay. Yes. Hello.
केस में ट्रांसफ्यूजन के टाइम में
Yes. हाँ. ट्रांसफ्यूजन का टाइम आवाज कट रहा है निखिल.
वो भी घट जाएगा.
क्या ट्रांसफ्यूजन के टाइम में
अगर हेमोग्लोबिन जैसे ब्लड
चैट है वहां पे, चैट में लिख सकते हो. चैट में लिखो. आवाज नहीं कट रही है. हेलो निखिल.
हेलो.
हाँ अब आ रहा है. ओके. हाँ निखिल.
कॉल करके पूछ लेंगे सर.
नहीं पूछ लो. अभी आ रहा है, आवाज आ रहा है. अभी है 1-2 मिनट टाइम बचा हुआ इसमें भी.
वही पूछ रहे थे सर, अगर ब्लड का अमाउंट बहुत कम है, जैसे 2 या 3 हेमोग्लोबिन के केस में कंडीशन में आता है, उस टाइम हम ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन कर दिए, 100 ml चढ़ गया उसको, और उसके बाद अगर रिएक्शन स्टार्ट हुआ
रिएक्शंस कभी भी स्टार्ट होता है तो हमको अगर इस एनिमल से आपने अगर मैचिंग किया है तो होना नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन फिर भी चांस रहता है रिएक्शन होने का. तो अगर आपको 100 ml ब्लड चढ़ा है तो स्टॉप दिस ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन, वेट फॉर सर्टेन बिकॉज यू हैव सप्लीमेंटेड a small amount of wait for 1 day few hours and select another donor. आप डोनर बदल दीजिए ताकि उससे अगर रिएक्शन हो रहा होगा उस एनिमल से तो आप डोनर का वेट करिए, अगले दिन का वेट करिए. पहले दिन आपने लाइफ सेविंग प्रोसेस कर लिया है, थोड़ा फ्लूइड ब्लड दे दिया है उसे, तो अगले दिन वेट करिए और डोनर को चेंज करिए, सो दैट उसके कारण उसके ब्लड में जिसके कारण एनाफिलैक्टिक रिएक्शंस हो रहा होगा वो बदल जाएगा. तो डोनर का बदलना, दैट इज कॉल्ड हेट्रोलोगस ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन, इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. होमोलोगस आप नहीं कर सकते हैं. आप एक ही डोनर से बार बार ब्लड निकाल करके आप नहीं दीजिए क्योंकि उसके अगेंस्ट एंटीबॉडी बन जाता है. तो आप दोबारा जब आप ब्लड देंगे तो फिर से रिएक्शन होने का चांस उसमें ज्यादा रहता है. So always if multiple blood transfusion required in the same animal, go for heterologous blood transfusion. Means you change the donor animal. Okay. Thank you.